Hey there, math magicians. Just putting together a little lesson for you. Some notes for you to put into your notes, I guess. I'm going to finish lesson one, classifying angles notes. I actually did this about 30 minutes ago. I made a 15-minute video and realized I didn't have the audio on, so this is the second time I'm making this video, and hopefully it goes all right. I would suggest that you get your notes out and maybe copy down the things that I'm putting into my notes here. I have a little dot cam set up that I'll show you in a second. But another thing that you have assigned to you is an assignment on ALEKS called Lesson 1 Classifying Angles. It's due on Friday, and so you'll want to work on that. You also will get 3 attempts max on that assignment, so you can redo it to earn a better grade if you don't like the grade you received the first time through. And you'll be able to use your notes. So take good notes here. You can pause the video at any time if you want to copy something down. And so here's a quick picture of my dot cam. So that's my setup, and we'll get started here. If you recall, the other day when we were in school, we started talking about classifying angles. We talked about, this is a quick review, we talked about acute angles and how they measure less than 90 degrees. We talked about right angles and how they measure exactly 90 degrees. Obtuse angles are angles that measure bigger than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. And then straight angles are the ones that measure exactly 180 degrees. They create a straight line. We also discussed the other day something called adjacent angles. And adjacent angles are two angles who share a common side and a common vertex. And in this picture here, we have a straight angle DBC. So that whole thing straight across, that's 180 degrees. We have another angle DBA, which is this obtuse angle. It is adjacent to this acute angle ABC. So the angles that are adjacent in this picture are angle DBA and angle ABC. They are adjacent because they have a common vertex. This is the vertex point. Point B is the vertex. This is the common side, which is ray BA. That's the common side. And then obviously the straight angle there that goes through both. So those are adjacent angles. We also talked the other day about vertical angles. And a majority of what we're going to do here, the rest of these notes, is going to talk about vertical angles. Vertical angles are two angles created by the intersection of two lines. These angles are opposite one another. And they are also, this is very important, they are also congruent. And hopefully you remember that congruent means equal or the same. So congruent means equal or the same. They are opposite each other, across from each other, and this is for vertical angles. Okay, vertical angles are two angles created by the intersection of two lines. They're opposite each other and they are congruent. Congruent means equal. Very good. Here's a quick picture for you. We'll do a few pictures to illustrate what's going on. In this one, we'll put angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, and angle 4. And the vertical angles in this figure would be angle 1 and angle 3. They are created by the same two intersecting lines. They are opposite each other and they are the same measurement. And also vertical angles here would be angle 2 which is equal to angle 4. Those two are the same. Those are vertical. All right, turn the page here. So we're going to draw another figure. We'll put this line like so. Draw that line like that. And we will say if angle 1 is 108 degrees, what is angle 2, angle 3, and angle 4? And we'll put, this will be where angle 1 is. This will be angle 2, 3, and 4. So when we're given one of the angle measurements, if you have a picture drawn, you can just write it in. So here's angle 1, 108 degrees. And we know that angle 1 and angle 3 are vertical. And that means that they are equal to each other. So angle 1 and angle 3 are the same. So right off the bat, we know that angle 3 will equal 108 degrees. So this one is also 108 degrees. Okay? Now, we haven't talked about this at all. How can we figure out what angle 2 is? Well, what we need to do is look at this straight line here created. This straight line is 180 degrees. It's a straight angle. It's 180 degrees. And this straight line is made up of angle 1 and angle 2 together. Angle 1 and angle 2 together create that straight line, which equals 180 degrees. We already know that angle 1 is 108 degrees. And so we can plug that in for angle 1 to figure out, okay, 108 degrees plus angle 2 will equal 180. And then this is a one-step equation where you subtract 108 on both sides, and you'll get angle 2 is 72 degrees. Okay? And hopefully, you're able to identify what angle 4 is without too much trouble. Angle 4, which is right here, there's a couple ways to do this, but the easiest way is to recognize that angle 4 and angle 2 are vertical. And that means that they are equal to each other. We've already found that angle 2 is equal to 72, therefore, angle 4 is equal to 72 as well. So we have angle 1 was 108, angle 2 was 72, angle 3 was 108, angle 4 was 72. Okay? One other quick one here. Okay. Let's see here. This one's a little bit more challenging. We're going to try and find what x and z equal. Okay, let me draw a quick picture for you. Put that there. That there. We'll say that this angle here is 70 degrees. And we'll say that this angle right here is 12x plus 10. And then we'll say that this one here on the side is just z. Well, this looks a lot more confusing than this one up here. But they're kind of the same because they use vertical angles. If you look up here where maybe it was just a little bit easier for you, we knew that this angle 1 and this angle 3 were going to be the same because they're vertical. And we knew that the 2 and the 4 were the same because they're vertical. In this picture down here, we know that this angle here that's 70 degrees is the same as this angle here, which is 12x plus 10. So if we know that 12x plus 10 is vertical or equal to 70, we can set up that equation, and now we have a two-step equation that we can solve. Now, if we're going to try to solve for x, what do we have to undo first? Hopefully you remember we undo the addition and subtraction. So we subtract 10, and we bring down the 12x. 12x equals 70 minus 10, which is 60. And to solve for this x, we have to undo the 12 that's being multiplied, so we can divide by 12 on both sides. And we get x is equal to 60 divided by 12, which is 5. So there's one of the things that we had to find, which was the value of x. Now we have to figure out the value of z. And so let's see. 70 and z, they're not vertical to each other, but they are next to each other, and they do create this nice straight line. And we know that the measurement of straight lines is equal to 180 degrees. So knowing that this 70 and all the way with the z, 70 plus z will equal that straight angle. So we just created a nice little equation, a one-stepper, and subtract 70 both sides, and you get z is equal to 110 degrees. So that's it. If you have any questions, please send me an email. Go to the ALEKS, do those problems. It's lesson 1, classify angles assignment, and hopefully you're doing well, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.